Hi, so I'm Ingrid Green. I am with Lehigh University, and I work in the Bursar's office. So I am what people refer to as a funky tech. I'm, functional, but also on the technical side. But I am not an IT person who has direct access to, the whole world of IT. I just work in my little part of the world, obviously relying on a lot of other funky techs from other departments. So one of the main reasons that I'm, starting to write reports now is we've been using Access databases to basically run our business. And when I started at Lehigh, I just kind of got thrown into, well, these are the Access databases we have. This is, what you run when you're doing bills. This is what you run for that. And I did find over time, as I sort of learned my job better, some of the reports weren't really pulling data correctly. So I've done a lot of tweaking over time. And I've been there for 7 years now. There were a lot of times where, I would sort of listen to what was going on with other people in the office and some of the challenges they have, and creating new reports, taking, snippets of other things that were there and creating reports to help them do their job better. But I've kind of gotten, as far as Access, gotten to the limit of what I could really do with those tools and how to help them with their jobs. So that was really kind of the challenge, was the limitations of the tools that we had. I think for me personally, it was just the challenge of, over time learning the AR module, but also learning more about the student module, the financial aid module, some of the GL stuff, because it's so, the best part of an ERP system is it's fully integrated, and the worst part of an ERP system is it's fully integrated. All of the data has to relate to one another, and when someone messes something up in another department, it can cause challenges. And, I have reports that are simply, to help me audit. I'm responsible for making sure that we're billing tuition correctly. And occasionally I will run my audit report and I go, this student doesn't have any tuition charge, but he signed up for 9 credits. What's going on? And then I have to reach out to another department and go, this course is not set up correctly. I need you to unenroll the students, fix the course, re-enroll the students. So, it's a challenge when, so much of the data feeds into this module. And if someone else has bad data, then it's an issue for us. Well, so I recently learned to do data block design and writing reports. My mindset up to this point, up to coming to this conference, was we have to get off of Access. We know that we're going to have to go to Banner SAS in the future. So I need to get these reports converted. And that was sort of my mindset of, I need to convert reports. But I did the advanced training on Friday, and Saturday morning I woke up with going, oh my God, I can do this. It was like all these ideas of things that I can do, not just to convert the reports, but ways that I can improve the process overall and make things so much easier for other people, which is, when I started, I was doing a lot of that with the tool that I had, but now I'm like, oh my God, there's so much that I can do with this. And then, last night had some conversations with people about there was a report I created, which actually was from scratch because it's like a relatively new table in Banner. We never had an Access report for it. And I was like, well, I'm not going to build an Access report for that. I'm just going to do this in Argos. And I was thinking about it. And this morning I'm like, oh my God, I need to put an OLAP cube in there. This is going to be great. So just with coming to the conference and, being able to talk with so many of the e-visionaries, asking questions, and just, getting to meet some of these resources and really get so many ideas about, not just basic training that we received, but seeing how other institutions are using it and so many opportunities for improving our processes has just been, I'm constantly getting out my notebook and writing stuff down because I don't want to forget to act on this. So we've always had in our department reports that we could run to see student deposits in the system. But the deposits, there's an enrollment deposit for the grad colleges, and there's different colleges. There's some deposits for study abroad and some other things. But they would need to come to us and ask us to run the reports because we had the access report. But now we have the ability to to create a report, put some security on those reports that, okay, if you're in the grad college of business, you can see your deposits. And if you're in study abroad, you can see your deposits. And just being able to put this in the hands of the people who need the data, that they can just run the report anytime they want. And we have this, there's one particular summer program that the lead for this emailed me this past week, and he's like, well, I've got this person and this person and this person who've signed up for the program. They haven't done their deposits yet, because he is running the reports on a regular basis and seeing, who hasn't made their deposits. So just being able to, put the data in the hands of the people who need to have it and not having to rely on others to get them the data has been very transformational. Well, I haven't been doing this for very long, and I've actually only had one thing published so far. Like, we have our development environment, and then I have to have the IT folks actually move it over to production. But, as I'm building them, I'm like showing it to other people in the office. And this one that we actually published, like Friday night, I needed to look at something for study abroad, and I was like, oh, I can just use my Argos report and pull that data. It was very painful for me to do what I needed to do for them in the past. Now I was like, oh, this is easy. So I've really only got one that I've built but I'm thrilled to have that so readily available to me. Well, it was funny because the process of building, like, I was working on the other one, which I haven't published yet, that I would now want to put a lab cube on. But on that one, I had like a list of indexes for the accounting. And then I had sort of taken that piece of that object and put it in here, and I had this list. And then as I was testing it and showing it to the other person, I was like, I don't think I want to have a drop-down list that I have to scroll through to find it. I think I want to just type it in. And she's like, oh yeah, we want to just type it in. So just the, different situations depending on who the audience is. Sometimes, finding an index on this report and finding an index on this report is a completely different approach to it. So that's, it's very enlightening to just kind of realize that there's so many different situations and different ways to go about implementing things. Don't hesitate, just go for it. So I used to work in the corporate world prior to joining Lehigh, and we had a report writing tool. And when I first heard about Argos, I was like, oh, it's reports. Just, in my mind, grab data and dump it to Excel or make a pretty PDF. And then I would hear things from other departments about how, like, there was a report that allowed the colleges, coordinators in the colleges, to change a student's major or change their, which college they reported to. And I'm going, I don't understand. That's not a report. I never fully understood the full capabilities of the product. It's so much more than just the ability to pull data. And Like even, when I was thinking about this one particular one this morning, and I was like, how would I put the report together? I'm sure they're going to want to have totals, but I'm not sure what an individual department's going to want to have. And then I was like, wait a minute, I can just use an OLAP tube and then they can total it however they want. So capabilities that I've never had before. Oh, I've got a lot of ideas written down on stuff that I need to get to work on. And like I said, I want to do all my report conversions myself. If I need some help with some of them, if I feel some of them are a little beyond my capabilities, I'll get our IT folks involved. Or obviously now I know I can reach out to the eVisionaries for some help and some guidance. But I've just got so many ideas on, not just converting, but improvements that I think will really make a lot of people's lives easier. Well, I think the overall impact is just the ability to sort of redesign things. Like, yes, we've had tools in the past, but this is an opportunity to make it better, make not just, pulling the data better, but the process better as a whole. Well, for one thing, just the size of the conference, it's, I walk into the lunchroom and it's like, oh, there's this person and that person. I know a lot of us are going to be going across the street here. You go into lunch and you're like, you can't find your people. It's so big. This is a very manageable size conference that you really get to know a lot of the other participants. You get to know the folks from Evisions. There's just a lot more ability to network and to really learn from one another.